Hello, welcome to our live stream. I am Julian Katari. I'm having a conversation with Sacred Blue Heron Women. We have one of these conversations each week. They're called I Need Living Conversations, and this is the 177th session of these live conversations that stay recorded here on our channels. And this time we have the second session for free societies. We're going over the understanding of how some of the societies that before the colony came and we all got brought into this world of chaos and slavery, how they worked. And from this analysis, we can better comprehend how we can build a free society of our own. That's our project. And that's what we get together to talk about. And that's what you're invited to, dear listeners. So please stay tuned to this incredible information and this in depth analysis of free societies. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
To me,
So,
it's in depth. To me, it's
yeah,
in depth. Um,
so we're going to go here with the term technosphere because I have it written as technological societies, but we're going to use Jose Arguelles' term of technosphere, which is so accurate
right.
because there has been a artificial technosphere created that absolutely has to implode on itself because it's so artificial. But so the difference between the technosphere and the native indigenous peoples who live by natural order, natural time. Number one, technosphere, private property is a basic value. The ability to buy, sell, and inheritance, and the goods produced are mostly for sale, not for personal use.
Right.
So, in a natural order or native indigenous society or subsistence, we can use that word too. There's no private ownership of resources. There's no concept of selling. There's no inheritance. And the goods produced are used for their value, for personal use. In a technosphere, in this technosphere society, the surplus production with profit motive, in a indigenous, the subsistence goals are no profit incentive. In a technosphere, economic growth is required. In a subsistence indigenous, it's steady state economics. In the technosphere, we have currency system with abstract value, and in a indigenous, we might have barter system with concrete value or gift, or more likely a gift system. In the technosphere, there's competition and production for private gain. In the natural order, indigenous society, free societies, there's cooperative collective production. In the technosphere, there's reward according to task and wages, with an average workday being 8 to 12 hours and sometimes longer. In the natural order societies, free societies, the average workday is 3 to 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Just let that sink in.
Yeah, that's one of the things that everybody would think it's the other way around, where the modern world brings you more time, and it's not.
So in the technosphere, nature is viewed as resources. In the biosphere, let's say it that way, the natural biosphere of Gaia, of
Yeah, I
Pachamama.
like that way of calling it, and that way of naming the two worlds we are living.
Yes. Nature is viewed as a being, and humans are part of that being. In the technosphere, there's hierarchical political forms. In the biosphere, there's non-hierarchical chiefs who have no coercive power. They can't force anybody to do shit. Basically. In the technosphere, decisions are made by a centralized government. In the biosphere, decisions are based on consensual process and involves the whole tribe and community. In the technosphere, we have a spectrum from representative, quotes, democracy to autocratic rule. In the biosphere, we have direct participatory democracy with very rare examples of autocracy. In the technosphere, we have operative political modes that are monarchist, capitalist, corporatist, fascist, and communist. In the biosphere, there's the words are used anarchist, and we don't like anarchy because it's like without rule, but it's like without central rule. That's what anarchy is, without
Yeah,
central.
that's what it should be, and let's clear that. Make
Yeah,
that clear that no order, that's not nonsense. It doesn't mean that. It means no king. Like,
no king, exactly. Exactly. And then it's communalism
hmm
and theocratic based on, and I don't want to say theology, but belief systems of wholeness, unity. So in the technosphere, centralization power is concentrated in central authorities, and there's a concept of state. In the biosphere, everything is decentralized, and power resides in community among the people, and there's an identity as a nation. In the technosphere, laws are codified and written, and it's an adversarial process with anthropocentrism forming the basis of law. And criminal cases are judged by strangers, and there's no taboos. In the biosphere societies, laws are transmitted orally. There's no adversarial process, and laws are interpreted, quote, laws are interpreted for individual cases or a natural order. The God process, the galactic ordering dynamic process, is used as a basis. And criminal cases are settled by groups of peers known to the criminal, and there are taboos. And so people don't violate taboos. So there's really no criminals because they don't violate their taboos.
hmm.
In the technosphere, there's large scale societies with high population density, and in the biosphere, small scale societies, and all of the people are acquainted, and there's low population density. In the technosphere, lineage is patrilineal through the father. In the biosphere, lineage is mostly matrilineal, and all property runs through the female. In the technosphere, we have a nuclear 2 or 1 parent families and also singles, and we revere the young. In the biosphere, we have extended families of generations, and sometimes many families live together, and the old are revered instead of the young. In the technosphere, history is written in books, portrayed in televisions, and docudramas. And the conquest of nature is a celebrated value. In the indigenous, the biosphere societies, history is transmitted orally, carried through memory, and harmony with nature is the norm. In the technosphere, we have high impact technology created to change the environment, and there's mass scale development, 1 to millions ratio in weaponry, and humans are viewed as the superior life form, and Earth is viewed as dead. Pachamama is dead, Gaia is dead. In the biosphere societies, we have low impact technology, 1 to 1 ratio, even in weaponry, meaning one bow and arrow to 1 human to another human, not a nuclear bomb or a Moab, mother of all bombs that can take out thousands. Right? The entire world is viewed as alive, and humans are not superior. We're just an equal part of the web of life. And there's Aini reciprocity with non-human life. In the technosphere, we have construction materials that are transported from distant places. And in the biosphere, construction materials are gathered locally. In the technosphere, the space is designed, living space is designed for separation and privacy with hard-edged forms, and Earth is covered with concrete. And there's a separation of spirituality from the rest of life. And it's either monotheistic or atheistic. In biosphere environments, communities, we have spaces designed for communal activity, soft forms. The earth is not paved over. The spirituality is integrated with all aspects of life and is polytheistic. Yin yang forces, animism, a spiral, and so forth.
Hmm.
In technological, in the technosphere, we have linear concept of time, which forces growth to a straight path, and it seeks a one-time fix, which gets surface level results. In the biosphere, we have a spiral that goes deeper, wider, and higher with each layer, and the growth is sustainable. In the technosphere, the dead are regarded as gone, and in the biosphere, the dead are regarded as present. Just their bodies are gone.
Hmm.
In the technosphere, individuals gain most information from things outside their community or experience. In the biosphere, individuals gain information from personal experiences. And in the technosphere, time is measured by machines. Schedules dictate when to do things. And in the biosphere, time is measured by awareness according to the observance of nature. The time to do something is when the time is right. And in the technosphere, most of all, we have saving for our own selves and acquiring all we can. And in the biosphere, it's all about sharing and giving. So virtually all traditional tribal people share three primary political principles. Number one, all land, water, and forest is communally owned by the tribe. Private ownership of land or goods beyond those of the immediate household is unthinkable, and we are adopting that with Aloha Ainidao living with our Owl Council House,
Mm-hmm.
right? Training program. We are absolutely adopting this. Number two, we're adopting also all tribal decisions are made by consensus in which every tribal member participates. We'll change that word to IU, community, right? And number three, chiefs are not coercive or authoritarian rulers. They are more like teachers or facilitators, and their duties are confined to specific realms like medicine, planting, war, relationships, or ceremonies. I don't expect we'll have any war chiefs. I
Mm.
think we're going to have peace chiefs, not
That's
war.
good. Yeah.
So we're going to adopt all three of these political principles.
Okay.
The tribes also thought that every situation that arises is seen as entirely different. If you raped or murdered somebody, you were banished from the tribe for life. And the philosophy was that if you write the rules down, then you have to deal with the rule rather than figuring out what's fair. Their principle was to be fair. Let me say that again. If you write a rule down, then you have to deal with the rule,
Right. Mm-hmm.
not what's actually happening.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And that's what befuddled me with my first divorce was, well, according to this, you make more money than him, so now you got to pay him child support. I'm like, what? Well, that's what the algorithm. That's what we have to understand with AI that everyone thinks is so AI. No, when you go to your doctor with AI coming in, you're not going to be individual. You are going to be ruled by the rules are written down, and the rules are what will apply to you, not what's actually happening with you. We
Mm-hmm.
have to understand this. We have to be willing to break out of this.
Right. No, that's such a transcendent thing right there that you just pointed out that just that I think should or shift the way humans organize their lives today,
Yeah.
because we're just bounded by what we've written down and by these long past contracts
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
get out of touch with reality. Mm-hmm.
Right. What natural reality.
Yeah, what's really happening, what really needs to be solved.
Yeah. So Our mythology has been that native peoples live with the awful oppression of subsistence economics. A native woman from Alaska said, "I come from a subsistence family. I grew up that way. It's something different than going to the store. Our grocery store is millions of acres wide and it brings us pride." A University of Chicago professor wrote that primitive societies enjoyed a great amount of leisure time. You say that again. Primitive societies, we think we're so much better than primitive societies. We have no leisure time.
Mm-hmm.
They satisfied their material desires and survival needs with little difficulty, did not work very hard, and consciously chose subsistence economics. They deliberately did not accumulate surpluses. In Australia, in the Australian Aboriginal communities, the average male works 3 hours and 44 minutes a day. The average female works 3 hours and 50 minutes a day. The Dobe Bushmen of southern Africa work approximately 15 hours per week. That's 2 hours and 9 minutes per day, and only 65% of the population work at all.
Mm-hmm.
And those who feed the others do so by cooperative arrangement. They share turns of work and share food, and that frees the rest of the society to not work at all. And we look on that as primitive, really?
Yeah, we're just repeating that because we get told that, and
No.
we don't even take a look. And that's why people are here right now. They're taking a look at like seeing the actual information.
So in a biosphere society, culture, the rhythm of steady work and steady leisure is maintained throughout the year. Dancing, fishing, games, sleep, sex, and ritual occupy the greater parts of their time. The Bushman's lack of material wealth, which we call poverty, can be put in a different perspective. Like, possession of the necessary tools is general, and knowledge of the required skills is common, and in the liberal customs of sharing, all the people can participate in the ongoing prosperity. This prosperity depends, though, on a low standard of living, with the quota of consumables set at a modest point. Poverty is not a certain amount of goods, nor is it just a relation between the means and the ends. Above all, it is a relation between people. Poverty is a social status. And it was not until culture neared the height of its material achievements that it erected a shrine to the unattainable infinite needs. Poverty has only been introduced to native communities. For thousands of years, people subsisted from the land and ocean. Living this way sustained life and evolved culture, a culture in which wealth was the commonwealth of the people as provided by the earth. And this sharing created a bond between people that helped ensure survival. With the traders came the idea of wealth and poverty. The new people added the process of living the purpose of accumulation, whether it was furs or money, land, or the souls of converts. Lines were drawn between people and the basis of what they had accumulated. The economic system of accumulation and replacing food and furs with cash, cooperation with competition, sharing with accumulating.
Mm-hmm.
And back in 1609, when the Algonquin Indians discovered Henry Hudson sailing up the river, they were living off the fat of the land. They lived so well and yet worked so little that the industrious Dutch considered them indolent savages and soon replaced their good life with feudalism. Today, along the Hudson River in New York, supposedly free citizens of the wealthiest society in the history of the world work longer and harder than any of the Algonquin Indians ever did. They race around like rats in a maze and dance to a frantic tempo destined to lead many to early deaths. What went wrong? How, in the process of acquiring so much wealth, did we lose so much leisure?
What's your definition of wealth?
Exactly. Exactly. So that's where we're going to end tonight. It's a short one.
Okay. Wow, that was really good, but too short. too short. I was
Yeah.
like starting to get comfortable.
Well,
But
yeah.
then don't force yourself to go on. I mean, it's okay. Um,
Well, we can start into this. I brought up this word,
mhm.
God, as an acronym for galactic ordering process, ordering dynamic process. So no, let's just start this next week.
Okay. So
I
what's
have
it
it
gonna
in
be?
front of me, but let's just start it next week because it's
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of starting a whole new
Hmm. A whole new.
a whole new level.
Okay.
Put it that way.
All
You
right.
know, and we even have there's some um, from the Hopis. We know they had some free societies too. Um, but I'm right now. I'm having that was so short because um, there's not much example. But from the Hopis, we have that from the since at least the 10th century, each Hopi village has been a totally autonomous, self-governing entity. The bonds among the villages are cultural and spiritual, not political. And each village contains 1 to 4 distinct clans, and each clan has the nearest thing to a chief that they know. Decisions are made in community meetings in which the chief plays a facilitating role. And all the Hopi clans gather together many times a year for religious events and celebrations. Each clan has a specific and distinct role to play. Jaime.
Somebody
Um,
wants to get a hold of you.
yeah, that's Jaime, my friend, my lovely friend. And they say that the only laws are nature's laws. So, in the
Mhm.
Indian terms, you cannot equate dollars to lives, and there can never be an equation between the dollar bill and living things. And that's the biggest difference right there. Right there. But we're going to get into that more. I'm going to do a whole timeline of the technosphere, how it developed.
Okay. So what's it gonna be titled for next week?
Oh, next week we're gonna talk about is there a God? This development of the technosphere
Wow.
timeline is going to take me a while. I'm
Okay.
just
Okay. So
so
yeah.
next
So that's
week
that's
we're going
later.
to go into is there a God, and then we're going to go into a beautiful, loving creation story.
And a little sneak peek about what is there a God is about.
um, we're going to
Just
talk
my
about
curiosity.
um, our divinity, this and time. We're going to delve into Father Time.
Okay. That's a great question. I mean, and it's always so interesting to go into that subject, and because you get to know it. If you just believe something because you just want to believe in it, right? Or you feel it. Okay, that's valid. You feel it, then you believe in it because you feel it. That's totally valid. But then questioning things, I think, is a wonderful way to get to know. Um, yeah. Okay, so that's for next week. Is there a God at the same time? Are we gonna keep
And
the
what
same
is
time?
is there a God, and what is our relationship with this God being?
Okay, and is there a God, and what is her relationship with him, her,
With
it?
it, with this being.
Okay, with this being okay. So that's gonna be the title for next week. 8:45, right?
Yeah,
Central Standard Time.
yeah.
If you're in Mexico, it's
So we were late
7:45.
and we barely made it a half an hour this time, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, it was still very, very, very beautiful chat, or very beautiful piece of information that you shared with us. I really liked it. So that's the invitation, and we will see everybody next week. We'll probably stay here and chat with each other a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you're always welcome, dear watchers, to come chat with us anytime you want. You can join us at any time. Please do so. aloha.nidauLiving.com, or just send a message anywhere and we'll respond. Okay, so see you next week.
Yeah. See you next week.